Ditch or date? You're not sure if you should go out with him or her. Or whore.
Whoa. You judging out the gate.
Him or whore. Huh, that's interesting.
I think you just skewed everybody going to ditch instead of date.
We got a new benchmark.
Yeah, we do.
Him or whore.
So do you continue to ditch or date this person based on just one little thing? Now, she's a bartender and she meets this customer. So you're already kind of like walking this fine line, but she's wondering if she should date this guy or just like not even get into it. Mo's got the email.
Dear Bert Show, so you may find this ridiculous and maybe I'm just being immature. I was recently asked out on a date by a guy who came into the restaurant that I bartend at. We had a great time chatting when I had downtime. So I wasn't the least bit disappointed when he asked me out. When I went home that night, I did what everyone does and started doing some online digging to figure out as much about him as I possibly could. What I found out seems to bother me a lot, and I can't seem to convince myself to not be weirded out. I'm wondering if I'm being stupid or if other women would have an issue with it. When I met him, we never ended up talking about what he does for a living. I don't know why it didn't come up. I almost wonder if he purposely steered any discussion away from it. What I found out is that he is a gynecologist. I know there is nothing wrong with gynecologists.
No, there's not.
Obviously, there are a lot of them. However, I just don't know if that will be weird for me knowing what he is going to look at all day long. I also am curious what makes someone choose that particular type of practice rather than any other type of medicine. I don't know. Maybe it's immature to care.
Yep, probably.
However, I'm curious if other women would find it a bit difficult to get past. Should I ditch him now or assume I'll eventually get over it?
All right, 1-855-BERT Show if you guys want to get in on this. We've had this come up before in the past. And it's just a body part to gynecologists. They're not like judging it. They're not doing an American Idol style competition between the last woman that was in and the one before. It's not like that at all, Tommy.
Is she crazy? Wouldn't he be like an expert on Pandora's box, so to speak?
I don't think. I mean, so your suggestion is if you're a male gynecologist, you're great in bed because you know about the parts.
They know
I disagree with that.
They know the science. They know where everything is.
All right. If you are hooked up with a gynecologist that's really bad in bed, will you give us a call right now? 1-855-BERT Show and prove Tommy wrong.
I'll go to the phones. There you
go. Look, I can see a baseball being thrown at 95 miles an hour. I can see it. I can't hit that baseball.
Exactly. You'd go after the hitter. The hitter would be the expert.
Man, that's a point.
I think she's being really insecure about it.
I think she is too. For sure, and a bit immature. At the same time, though, playing devil's advocate, I don't think there's anything wrong with a man being a gynecologist at all, but I could understand how a woman may feel like, I don't know if I want to date a guy who does that.
Really?
Yeah, kind of like the same thing with actors per se. Like, they're obviously not in love with the person they're in the scene with. The kiss really doesn't mean anything, but I do understand people who say, I don't know that I could live with knowing that my partner is enjoying other body parts.
Well, they're not,
or not enjoying per se, but just being around. I kind of get it.
Kristen.
All right. She should totally date this dude. One, he's a doctor. And two, this is like for her to find a guy who's probably tired of looking at those all day long. He's not going to be interested in another one. You know what I mean? Like, this is it's medicinal, it's medical, there is nothing like as far as being turned on or aroused or anything like that. Like, it's not like that. So if anything, you got yourself a catch because you have a man who deals with those on a daily basis and doesn't have that kind of like arousal around them. So if the only like one he wants to be with is yours, I think that's a good thing.
So if the roles are reversed and you're starting to date a woman and you know that that's what she does for a living, she's
like a urologist or something, and she's around penises all day
long.
Okay,
doesn't bother you at all?
No,
really,
it would not bother me.
Would it bother you?
A little bit.
Yeah, really?
A little bit.
I mean, every time she's looking at one, she's comparing it to yours.
No, I'm not. I'm not saying that. Now don't get me wrong. If I liked her, I would see past it. But In the beginning, I probably would have a bit of adjusting to do mentally to like kind of deal with that's what she's going to be seeing and looking at all day long.
Really? Now, I do think that there would be some validity. I am really having tough time with words today.
That's one of those days.
Bad to do radio. Like, why did you get into that field? I would be interested on that. Like, okay, so I'm just really, really curious of everything you could have done. Why did you choose that one? But I dated 2 morticians, and I asked them the same question.
Fair.
And what were their answers?
It's just so peaceful. Like, they had some great answers. It's peaceful. Nobody complains at my job. I don't really like working around people, so they absolutely loved their job, and they would never give it up. Good morning, Brooke. You're on the Bert Show.
Good morning. Kristen always takes my comment right out of my mouth. That's exactly what I said. He's a doctor. Go for it. Don't ditch. Date for sure.
Yes.
It wouldn't bother me at all if he was a gynecologist. I think more power to him.
Yeah, everybody's calling up saying, get over it. Kaylee?
Yeah, as a former body piercer, I had to deal with this all the time with people that I would start dating because that's what I did is I had to mess around with genitals on both male and female. So like they had to be comfortable with people coming in and taking their clothes off in front of me and getting in a gynecologist's bed if I was piercing a girl. And so, yeah, sometimes it definitely caused some issues if they weren't secure.
So did anybody ever break up with you because you were seeing like boobs and peens and badges all day long?
Yeah. It was all over the peens, Kristen. That's why they were breaking up with me because of the amount of peens I was seeing. But yeah, I mean, it caused issues to where you need to back up, especially because you met me after I was a body piercer. It's not like I was like a dishwasher before and then all of a sudden I got this job. But yeah, sometimes it caused issues. I was like, you got to go.
Yeah, everybody's saying you got to lean in on this. Hey, Veronica, good morning. You'll be the last call on this, and then we'll move on.
Good morning.
Morning.
She doesn't deserve him at this point. Like, the immaturity is mind-blowing, and he'll find anything that you need. I don't see the problem.
So you're saying what Tommy did is that he's going to be well-schooled in that area, so the dude's going to be able to hook you up.
Exactly. You don't have to explain anything like you have to do to the regular folks out here.
Look, I would suggest also there has to be a best and a worst in every field. So you may be linking up with the worst gynecologist that has no idea at all how it all works.
The Bert Show.
Like what you just watched, you can get more of The Bert Show on your favorite podcast platform. Wherever you listen to your podcast, you can find us. I don't know what any of these buttons do, by the way.